It's a very good afternoon, which we didn't think it would be to all of our listeners and viewers. Hello everybody, Aaron Gray and David Ware, and deep long on over here near the ice to the side screens. It's rock and roll time. NCC Summer Bash, ball one underway now. Andrew Harriott goes reverse sweep.
Big appeal there, Dave.
Was just interested to see if this is a leg by. Peter Tate hasn't got his hand out yet. There it goes, so that was a leg by. Reverse sweep first ball. Must have been close-ish, probably outside off.
To the naked eye, it looked like it was off the bat, but yeah, obviously a bit of back pad in that one, I think.
29 balls left. James Rushford on strike facing Blaxall Hall. Oh, that ball turned. This is a new pitch. That ball jumped and spat. This could be a difficult place to bat today. In fact, I'm sure it will be. I don't think it's going to be a flat deck.
No, well, just talking about that, Dave, obviously we've had a late change of wicket to get this game on, so expect some fire in the wicket.
Rushford goes hard. Does he get a boundary?
It's well fielded.
That appears to have been brilliantly fielded. Harriott's got to go. Dropped his bat and safe. So 2 runs out of Rushford, superbly fielded by James Sarakas at deep forward square. Just watching we're watching a bit of it. I reckon he does drop his bat. Actually, his feet were past. That was fascinating. None for 3. Remember, there's only this is a 5-over set, most unusual. Rushford comes down, quicker ball Blaxall Hall and beats him.
So did they run a 3 on that?
2. There was a leg by first ball. Gray and Redden here with you. George Farley over at Walls End, live on live stream. NCC Summer Bash. Rushford comes down the pitch, just gets it to cover. Great over so far from Blaxall Hall. He's got 1 left. He's only gone for 3.
Really whizzing through the overs here, Dave. Or through the over, sorry.
Over, yeah.
Seems like it's been played at breakneck speed. If we're calling State of Origin, I'd say there'd be a similarity.
Close to it. Rushford gets it off his gloves, goes straight over the keeper, just goes right behind the keeper for a single. In fact, it's not a single, it's a leg by. That's over. Outstanding
support. So thank you to Newcastle Council.
McTaggart to Rushford. Rushford hits that ball into his pad and gets a single. Bring Andrew Harriott on strike, and let me tell you, this bloke can play shots all around. He's very expansive. He can play them all over the shot, but he's got 5 balls of a power play left. If he gets a sider here, they'll go. And Aaron, I would be taking the pace off the ball or bowling everything on the crease. Anything that's length will go into the creek here.
Well, Harriott's a dynamic player, so yeah, you've got to be right on their game with the ball here.
McTaggart to Harriott. Gets
6.
it, and there you go.
It's in the canal.
Umpires actually called that 4. Not quite sure.
That's.
I thought it did a bounce over.
There's a correction.
Last over of the power play. That should be out. Short fine leg, and gets a skyer, and they cross. So Andrew Harriott out, caught at short fine leg. James Rushford will take strike. Thinking that Grant Stewart would come in next, and he does, the big man. Of course, Grant Stewart represented New South Wales country, represented Newcastle, and then went over to England, and has ended up remarkably playing first-class cricket for Kent on an Italian passport, which is a story in itself. And it's great to have him back playing cricket. He won't be on strike here, James Rushford will. 1 for 11's the score. Aaron, I'm thinking that 40 to 45 is going to be competitive with this depth. That could be a good score.
Yeah, well, a lot will come down to how each team bowls, in my opinion. You saw the slow bowler in the first over here just get a couple to stick in the wicket, really hard to get away. Pace on might not be the way of this little 5-over sesh. And really interesting, yeah, roll the fingers, get a little bit of, see if each team have got their spinners to do the work for them. So really interesting how the captains approach this and how the bowlers approach each over as well. Of course, each bowler can only bowl 1 over.
5-over games of cricket, they're quite rare. James Rushford on strike. Gets a short ball, gets it over the ring, straight down to the field from first bounce at deep mid-wicket. Just a single.
So just touching on what we're talking about before, Dave, you know, the introduction of guest or marquee players to get someone like Grant Stewart coming into a competition like this is a massive coup for Newcastle cricket.
It's huge. First-class cricketer with Kent in England, playing on an Italian passport through parentage. And it's great to have him here playing cricket. Lovely man too, great human being, Grant Stewart. Gets one
Hit
outside
that
off.
well.
That should be 4 even on this outfield. Great start from Stewart. Gets width outside off stump and hits that one for 4 to whitish cover.
The outfield ran quite well, Dave.
Actually did.
That was creamed, but yeah, it ran well.
Be good grind conditions. At the moment we've got here, it's been warm, steamy and windy, and they're the conditions you really would like. In fact, a bit dry probably, but it's great. That went well. Almost the middle pitch here now, Walls End. Stewart facing McTaggart. Gets a short one. That mightn't go for 4 this time, big
2.
man. 1 and 2 goes to ground. Rushford was going to come for 3s. No.
Yeah.
Rushford is very. We're going to bring.
He's going to be looking at spearing at leg stump here.
Absolutely.
Oh, that was very slow through the air.
It was. Slow through the air, and then Rushford had to check his shot. Pushes the single down to long off.
I think he'd be inclined to not give too much width here with this field. He's going to be looking to bowl really straight, I'd say.
Agree. Again, let me tell you, if Grant Stewart gets a hold of it, it goes a long way. So, be interesting to see if he goes straight or plays across the line. Hudson to Stewart.
Gapped it.
And that should be. He's going to get there. He will. Should come back for a double. Rushford's taking the danger end. Rushford does that easily. Hudson getting a low full toss in there, Aaron, and Stewart just gets it a bit over the roll, gets towards mid wicket, a straight mid wicket, gets 2. 1 for 9, on for 21. Sorry, 1 for 21. Gets another full bunger.
Just
almost a waste of a full toss. 1 run Stewart, just waiting on the umpires there. No, it wasn't a waste high bunger, just a single. Looking at that and delay. Gee, he's got that hit high. Line ball. 22 the score. Hudson to Rushford, goes across his crease. Hits short backward square. Might be a run out. No, Rushford's too quick. Hudson's doing the job here. No boundaries this over so far. 23 for 1. Stewart's got 2 siders of full tosses. If he gets another one, look out. The trees will be in danger. Hudson to Stewart. It's a short one.
That could be out.
Might be out. Straight down long off throat.
Yep.
Good take. Gets a short one, sits up a bit, doesn't get anything like in the middle.
Really interesting here, 5 over game. Like, I think you think about, I've got 10 wickets in the sheds, but you don't want to go that deep into your batting list because, firstly, 10 dot balls, you get through your list too quick. You've got to, I don't know, it's an interesting way to approach it. I've never played a 5 over game, so I'm not sure, but really interesting to see how this unfolds. Back on your point earlier, 40-45, I think it's really competitive because you think about a normal power play in this competition, I think that's probably around about par. But you're looking to preserve wickets, aren't you, to go deep into the innings. So, don't know. Interesting how this all unfolds.
One of the form batsmen all of Newcastle, Waratah Sharma, comes to the crease. He won't be on strike. Rushford and Stewart crossing during that dismissal. So Rushford will be on strike. Hudson's got 2 left over in his spell. There are 14 balls to go in the innings.
You've seen some 5 over games, Dave, before?
One in particular at Wollongong, where New South Wales Country played East Asia Pacific. It was much wetter than this. We managed to get a game on. New South Wales had to play, and we got defeated. We made 38 and got beat right at the death. Hudson to Rushford uses his feet, goes straight with a pocket cricket shot down to Kern. He took the catch a minute ago.
Come across here. Obviously, a different standard of cricket. I don't think it's anywhere near what we're seeing here with the opposition, but tactically.
That ball was at leg stump. Rushford flicks it off his pads, and again only a single. Brings Waratah Sharma on shock. 11 rocks left. You see that he actually got that outside leg stump. Rushford 1 bounce to the field. But fascinating talking about the 7s there. It is a good tournament, but yes, probably with no disrespect, this is slightly higher standard, and of course it's an 11-man field. Sharma on strike to Taylor. Steps inside it, tries to sweep. I think there's a top edge there, just waiting on the umpires. There's 1, should be a double, down towards us.
I think that might be buys, Dave.
The umpire hasn't got his hand out yet.
No,
if they put their hand out to the side, there's buys or leg buys coming.
Right.
Newcastle umpires are trained that way by Kim Norris, so if you see your hand out to the side, automatically coming. 2 runs Sharma off his first rock. Taylor to Sharma. Comes down the pitch, doesn't get anything like it, just gets on the inside edge down to Durheim.
Definitely darted that one in a lot quicker, so mixing his pace up.
28's the score, 9 balls left. 40 might see them home here. 40, I still think 45's a target. Rushford facing Taylor. Goes inside out, straight down to the sweeper. Again, Waratah's got the field in the right areas, and as Aaron Gay said, that the Chishingle, the slower bowlers are really doing well here. 29 for 2. Sharma on strike. Inside it. Now, has he got all of it?
6.
Yeah, that looks like it's gone over. 6 runs Sharma, which is they needed that right now. 35 for 2 the score. Sharma on strike here, 2 for 35. I think he'll go again that particular direction. See how Taylor handles it. Gets a ball, throws that right up.
He's got that. That's a big one.
That's another 6. Sharma's got 2 in a row. That's a very good finish over. There's their into the 40s now. That's 41, Aaron, and that's big here. Rushford, if he's wise, will get the strike to Sharma. Durheim to Rushford, steps across his crease. Inside out is a magnificent shot. 3 successive 6s, setting the innings right up here for Uni. The Sea Dragons. We're seeing it on a bit of a time delay. Bit wide outside off stump, inside out, whack. And that's where Rushford is very powerful through cover. I think Big Foster behind me actually played in that 5-over game. Did you not? He didn't do. Yeah, nodding the head there. Rushford gets one. That's a slower ball. That should be a leg by. Just waiting on umpire Tate.
Pitched a long way outside leg, you would have thought.
Leg by call. 2 for 48. Durham cleverly taking the pace off that one. Now Sharma's got these areas to go, Aaron, here. He's got, let's see, there's a gap between mid-wicket and long on, and also if he wants to try it backwards behind, over that man at 45, where's he going to go? He goes square, straight to the field when second bounce, just the single. So Durham's gone 6-1-1, 2 for 49.
Rocket arm there, deep square.
3 balls to go. Rushford will be eyeing off this area over cover where he hit that last 6, Aaron. There's a gap for him. Durham won't give him much pace, so I think that down the end of the third man for 4 is not on. Rushford goes straight this time, straight towards Kern. Hitting it hard. Kern gets the ball released and just the single. There's the 50. That's going to be very, very competitive in 5 overs. 2 rocks left. Rushford going straight that time. Pretty nice cricket shot, actually. That's Sharma might be thinking square again. Durham to Sharma. Comes down and misses. Oh, actually gets a bit of thigh on that one. He wants to hurry. Should be a leg by, I think. No, it's a single.
The Waratah obviously won the toss and elected the bowl here. Shimmy trying to find any gremlins in the wicket. I don't think the condition of the wicket will change much in such a short game, but might give them some insight how to approach their batting.
Last ball of the innings. Rushford inside out. Doesn't get it.
Maybe 2.
Should be 2. Sharma's going to get run out at the keeper's end here. So 1 run to finish, and that's 52. So the score will be, the chase will be 53 runs. Aaron and I will have a very short break, and we'll be back with you just a couple of minutes. For those of you watching, the game will recommence in 5 minutes. There is not the traditional change of innings. I repeat, the game will start again in 5 minutes. Aaron and I will have a very short break. Be back with you shortly. We're just about to get going in this, the round 5 game of the NCC Summer about Stewart to Sarakas. Wonderful to see Grant Stewart back home. First ball is a late cut and a single. Straight to short third man, actually.
So obviously sudden death here for each team. The winner progressing through to our semi-finals next week, and unfortunately the team that comes second here today will be at the end of their Summer Bash campaign. 2
Waratah players going over. So Grant Stewart's going to immediately go around the wicket to Nathan Hudson to deprive him of room. The one thing he cannot do is afford to go into Hudson's pads because he'll deposit him into the creek. I know Aaron Gray's played quite a bit of cricket and seen a bit of cricket with Nathan Hudson. He can be very explosive, Aaron, can't he?
Certainly can be. And to be honest, I don't think this length of game will affect him too much. He can go from ball 1. So
none for 1 off the first delivery from Stewart. Getting his fields in right. He's moving them around for squarer. So he's got a short fine leg and now a deep backward square just beyond point. So he's 2 men on the fence, a mid-wicket and just behind square. Stewart to Hudson. Hudson deliberately goes with a late cut. 1. And that's 4. Great start from Hudson. Stewart erring in length slightly there and bowling that one short outside of stump. Hudson a delicate late cut. None for 5 off 2. Remember, they need just over 10 and over. Aaron Gray.
Anyone watching at home, we'd obviously encourage a comment through our Facebook page, which has got the link to this stream. Otherwise, shoot Dave and myself a text if you know us and you want to have a quick shout out on the commentary. Let us know what you think of 5 over cricket.
And Kath Pink, if you're listening, looking forward to seeing you and Dan scoring, Dan Prowman scoring tomorrow. Grant Stewart around the wicket to Hudson. It's none for 5 off 2. Short and dispatched.
Oh, that's nearly 6. That's one bounce.
Terrific shot, Hudson. So they've got 9 off the first 3 rocks, almost at their quotient. They needed about 10.5 and over to win.
I have to say, since that first over of the match, I think the wicket's played well. That first over just seemed a few stick into it, but for a wicket that's had about 20 minutes preparation, pretty happy with it.
The point you made, the Waratahs bowled 2 overs of spin and they actually went quite well on it. So if the pace came on the ball, they started going.
True.
So, none for 9 off 3. Hudson 2 consecutive boundaries. Now all Stewart bowled 2 short balls outside off something. He probably needs to be fuller, and is. That's a wide though. Extra ball, none for 10. With 3 to go still. Bowling a bit too more to his field there, trying to bowl right at middle stump and missed it. And an extra delivery comes here. So that's 10 off with 3 to go and over number 1. Waratah lending 10.5 over to get themselves into a semi-final next week. Venue 2BC. That's that one we're talking about. Another, that's 6. We're talking about Nathan Hudson's ability off his pads. Gets a half volley on leg stump and just no width at all. It's got to be middle and off, I reckon. Exactly the right spot to bowl with the wicket just doing a bit. That was an off cutter and a beauty from Stewart. So dot ball there. 16 off 5 rocks. 1 over to go. 1 ball to go on the over. Lovely off cutter there and Brett Hudson all ends up. George Farley overly walls and Aaron Gray and David Redden with you. It's 16 for none, chasing 53. 1 ball left in this, the first over. It's a 5 over game each. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's right. 5 overs each. Game delayed by wet areas around the pitch. Hudson, that should be safe and he should get a double. Down towards long off. 1. Plugs like a 9-iron at Everglades. That is a superb start for the Waratah. Wales and Bundaberg when they won it. Bennett to Sarakis. Sarakis goes straight.
Gapped it. Good field, geez, good attempt.
Good attempt, and that's 4.
Might have an injury there. One off over there.
He's going to be okay. 22 now. Sarakis, good cricket shot, goes straight.
Just out of screen now. It's James Rushford. Number 4 in his back. They don't have a number 4 in the list. So.
It's not Lowley. See if I can get the binoculars on in a minute, see if I can find who that is. Bennett to Sarakis. Slow ball, full, well executed Bennett, just a single.
Yeah, Rushford, he's still playing, I think it's
It is Rushford. No, so you can tell by the hat. So he's got a sore left hand, Aaron. You picked that up well. It's a left finger or left hand injury.
Just running across screen now. Still looking at that hand, he's got some concern for it, but I think when he dived, he's probably dug it into the ground. So a change of angle here coming around the wicket for the left-hander.
Again, Hudson got his 3 boundaries with them bowling around the wicket. I think he's very comfortable with that. I would stay over.
I think it's critical on their length, I suppose. Hudson really got into the full ones that were bowled with this angle.
He also got away at 1 or 2 ones that will short just drag down a touch as well.
They do have a 3rd man in a deep forward square leg, so I'm going back of a length, maybe even short ball here.
Bowls a full one with width and gets away with it. Straight to Sharma at point.
Very lucky.
But Bennett's last 2 balls, he's executed full balls right on the crease, Aaron, and got away with it. 23 is the score. 3 balls left in the power play. As Aaron Gray said, we've got a square leg and a third man at the deep set fieldsman. Bennett to Hudson. Bennett going around the wicket to him. Hudson gets an inside edge, the best shot in cricket. 1. He'll come back for 2 here. Well run. Just the double. Still not a bad over so far from Uni.
What's the history of the French cut, Dave?
Oh,
Know where that comes from?
I'd have to go and read up my history books.
We'll keep it in mind for next week.
Why it's called a French cut, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's actually the original shot was a draw. Victor Trumper used to play draw shots. For Yorkers, he'd lift his front leg and deliberately hit him between his legs. Yeah. He called it the draw shot, but Victor Trumper was a world-class cricketer. Sadly died at 37 years of age, which is remarkable. Playing on uncovered pitches. Bennett around the wicket to Hudson. 25's the score. That's a leg bye, I reckon. Bennett executing well here. As you'd expect him to bowl of his quality, that should be a leg bye, I reckon. It is. 26 with 1 ball left in the power play. They're going along nicely, the Waratahs. They're basically halfway there, inside 12 rocks. But when you're chasing 53...
I thought that was right in Hudson's wheelhouse, just to go behind square. He sort of likes the power off the hip, but not that ball.
Reckon Sarakas will be after a last ball boundary here, Aaron. 26 is the score. Let's see how he goes about it. Sarakas on strike to Bennett. Misses one. Aaron Gray talked about that bowling back a length. He did. So the Waratahs are halfway there, basically, in 2 overs, going into short fine leg. Zafar's going to bowl over the wicket to Hudson, and I'd imagine that these 2 gentlemen next to my right will be switching those screens every minute because he'll bowl around the wicket to Sarakas. Backing himself not to bowl short outside off stump here, Zafar. First ball straight and given. Full straight ball. Hudson plays across the line. Very important wicket.
The benefit of a little replay here, Dave.
Playing towards leg side, Peter Tate, no hesitation.
On the crease.
In run chases like this, wickets are gold. So that's the first wicket down, 26. For 1 is the score. Zafar strikes first rock. And out strides the skipper. And he's a very unorthodox batsman, this bloke. He hits into places that you don't think they can be hit. Loves hitting through the offside in the air. And, although there is coverage over here, there's going to be a deep cover and a deep long off.
So it puts pressure right on these on the guy coming in here now, Jonty Durheim. Obviously, don't need to go at 10 and over. Fresh batter in. It's going to take 1 or 2 balls, you'd think, to get going. So get Sarakas on strike here. Is that your thoughts?
I would think so. Durheim's got to pretty much make contact straight away, get Sarakas the strike if he doesn't get a boundary. So long on is going squarer over towards the away change room. That's James Rushford. Zafar to Durheim. 3 men on the leg side fence. He's going with a 4-5 field. 2 men behind point in the offside with a long off and a deep cover. 2 men in the ring on the onside. Rushford's coming back a bit straighter towards us now. Zafar to Durheim.
Oh,
Durheim, that's safe. That's a nice little chip shot. Will Sarakas come? He won't.
For a minute,
although there was a misfield.
Just chipped it to mid-on, but just got over his head there.
So I think the 2 gentlemen on my right might be quite busy because I'm pretty confident that Zafar's going to go around the wicket he is. 27 the score now. Halfway through the innings. Almost halfway through the innings. 2.2 overs gone.
26 to win, and that's right there.
26 to win of 16 rocks, which in T20 parlance with 8 in the shed, that's, and trust me, Sarakas is explosive. He can whack them if he gets going. Short ball, bunted down, keeps it to a single. Mitchell Lyle is a brilliant fieldsman at cover, sweeping. Top over from Zafar so far, 2 singles and a wicket. Score is 28. Remember the target is 53 off 5 overs. Exactly halfway through the innings now. Waratah's right on target. Sea Dragons need another couple of wickets, I would imagine, quickly. Zafar to Durheim. Goes straight with a lovely cricket shot. Stewart goes to the keeper. Wise move from, as I said, a first-class cricketer. These have been some good marquee players, haven't they? You know, we've got guys like Dylan Hunter and Ben Patterson and Grant Stewart playing. It's great. A lot of other really good marquee players running. It's great for our comp. Sarakas will be going for a boundary. They haven't hit one for a few rocks now. Zafar to Sarakas. Doesn't get it. This might be a double. Will Durheim come and take Stewart on? He won't. Another single. This has been a superb over from Zafar. 30's the score. One ball left in his over. Again, this is a 5 over run chase, chasing 53. It's 1 for 30. There are 13 balls left. 23 required off 13. That's gone. Oh, has he not got enough of it?
6.
Mitchell Lowell, and that is 6. That's what Waratah's needed. Durheim taking on the short boundary and getting it just. 36 for 1 is the score now, so they need 17 off the last 2 overs. They need 17 off 12 balls. It is Daniel Ray. Good call, Aaron Gray. Sarakas on strike. He's on 8. Muscles a cover drive just for a single. That's a Grant Stewart sweeping. 37 now the score. 11 balls left. 16 off 11. We'll keep you up to date with that.
The old-fashioned left and right hand combination doesn't have as much impact these days as it once used to, and particularly these short over competitions, but
so
it does change the field a little.
In comes Phil, the fine leg into the ring. So the 3 leg side fields when a deep backward square, deep mid wicket and long on. There's one man in the ring at mid wicket and then a man at short fine leg. Then they've got a short third man and a cover. That's Joey Hart over a cover. They're the 4 men in the ring. Ray bowling to Durheim.
No width. There it is.
Durheim created, just unorthodox. That's 4.
It's 4.
He's so clever in creating gaps. This guy, Johnny Durheim, I've seen him doing countless times for Waratahs and for Newcastle rep sides. You watch this on the replay, whack.
The one delivery they didn't want was wide width. You know, again, we look at the field.
Called it.
Execution here is pretty critical.
41 is the score. 13 to go.
Going to go right down to
12,
the wire.
sorry. I think the way they're going, they should get this in the 3rd or 2nd ball the last over. They're going very nicely. Ray to Durheim.
Much better ball.
Yeah, much better ball. Bowls to his field. Wait, Sarakas dwelling on a misfield, doesn't get it. Here, Aaron, you can't run 2 to the boundary. If you hit the ball to the boundary, it's not big enough ground. It's just not big enough.
Right, you've got to really hit the gap, and
yes,
probably just slow enough too that it doesn't really push the fielder, sorry, to circle the boundary. They're going to attack the ball. So 2 is a very difficult here, I agree.
42 is the score. 11 to win. Sorry, 11 to win off 9. Sarakas doesn't get it. Misfield at short mid wicket. The score is 43.
Of course, so 2 boundaries here. Really, that's what it comes down to. If they hit 2 boundaries, they win, in my opinion.
You've got, if you're chasing 10 off 8 balls with this many wickets in the shed with calm heads, you should get home. Ray bowling to Durheim. I wonder if Lowley will bowl the last over. That'd be really interesting to see. Or there's a few options there. Don't think we'll go to Rushford. Durheim gets that straight.
Oh no, sorry, just
straight down to this field again. Well bowled, Ray.
It's a bad call. Sorry, guys.
1 for 44 now. 7 balls left. 9 to get off 7. Been a very good chase so far from the Waratahs. Very good. Sarakas, 1 ball left in this over. Will he try to go large? Gets a full ball. And again, Ray's execution at the end of this over was excellent. Will there be no, it's hit Sarakas, so he stopped. Now bowling to Sarakas. Sarakas will probably go after a first ball boundary here. See how he goes about it. It'll free up the rest of the over. Oh, he gets fine leg. I think he's beaten him. And there's that first ball boundary.
Definitely wrong-footed him there.
Absolutely wrong-footed him. 49 is the score. 4 to win. Just a bit too straight this one. Sarakas walking across, but he did bowl that outside leg stump. Now it's 4 to win for the Waratahs to get themselves a semi-final. What can Dow produce? He needs a wicket and then another wicket. Sarakas on strike to him.
Catch.
Might be out.
It's out.
There's the wicket.
That changes everything, and I think you'll find Durheim has not crossed.
Just waiting to see if he did.
Despite his best efforts,
He was trying to
really,
cross.
really sprinted through. We've got the benefit of a replay here, guys.
Yeah, can we see where's that catch? We don't know when it is. He really did sprint.
I don't think he's got it.
No, he's been sent back. So
The new batter will be on strike.
Sarakis makes 15. There's 4 to get off 4 rocks.
So that's the dot ball. I reckon one more dot ball.
Puts
and
pressure
puts
on.
pressure right back on them, and they will need a boundary because, as you said earlier, I don't think there's a 2 here anywhere.
And now, I reckon that if they get to within 2 or 3, Harriet won't go with a 5 deep set. I reckon he'll bring them in and maybe have a 7 and 2 and make them hit over. So just be really, Harriet's a very clever tactician here. It's 4 required of 4. Pretty confident that might be Blacksall Hall that's gone out to bat now. We'll just wait and see.
Just waiting
Is
on
that Blacksall Hall, guys? Got it right first time. Thank you. Got the thumbs up from the boys behind me. Thank you very much.
The score is at just a ball behind, I think, on the visuals. So once they hit that wicket,
I've got it as 49. Well, with 4 balls to go in my head, because Sarakis hasn't changed over yet.
no.
So the score is 1 for 49. There are 4 balls left, 4 runs needed. Blacksall Hall is on strike. Connor Blacksall Hall, who plays cricket with James Sarakis at Wests. 4 to go. Can Dowell produce another wicket and really put the clampers on here? Short 5 legs still in. Short mid wickets in. In comes the 5th player to the ring. So there's now 5 men in. He's brought up 3rd man. And in fact, he's not. Fine Les going back here. So the only man inside the ring on the leg side field is Joey Hart sitting there right on the ring at mid wicket. And there's 3 blokes in the offside. Thank you very much. Dowell to Blacksall Hall. Gets an edge. Will that go the whole way and win the game? It stayed in. Scores might be tied after this ball. Can Durham get there? He can. So that's tied up now. So I would imagine now the field will come in. That is 52 by mine. And the field will all come in. I can't imagine anyone sitting out, and there'll be blokes sitting off the bat about 8 or 9 metres. So in they come, although there's a couple of guys saying deep, I would have the entire field in. Score is 52. Durham's got strike. In they come now. There's no point.
Sometimes you just leave one out, force the big shot, and it might be like the wicket, which is a dot, you know, essentially, you know. So now he can miss hit a single and win. But I think you've got to go for the scores.
There are 3 balls left in the over. The scores are tied. Waratah's producing an excellent run chase so far. Can they finish it off? And as Aaron Gray just predicted, Mitchell Lyle's gone back out to the square leg fence just in case Durham gets one. I can actually see Durham. I can see Durham dropping his feet just on the offside and running. Dowell to Durham.
Oh, it's out.
He's got to take that catch. It's Grant Stewart. He won't miss. So now Blacksall Hall's got strike. So they're still tied, and there are 2 balls left.
Just that field, Durham had to play a big shot or drop it at his feet, as you say. He's opted to go the big shot, and the field taken. Just interesting how they
T20 cricket 101 that was.
Well, 5 over cricket 101.
Well, 5 over cricket 101,
yeah, it's even one level further. So, anyway, down to the final 2 deliveries.
Alex Taylor, I think you'll find, is the new batsman. Yeah, it is Alex Taylor coming out. He will not be on strike. Blacksall Hall this time did cross. Once it went near Grant Stewart, he wasn't dropping. He's got hands like buckets, the big man. If you're listening, Luke Stewart, hope you're well, mate. Hope the family's well. Hope you're going well up there in the Hunter. Luke and Grant Stewart actually played in Newcastle's own winning side, Aaron.
They did.
Years ago at number 1 sports ground in a great game against Southern Zone.
Of course, Luke was also part of the Bradman Cup, undefeated Bradman Cup campaign as a coach. Obviously, you were manager / scorer of that.
We didn't win.
No,
undefeated, and got missile on quotient by Riverina. So.
Yeah.
No, there won't be a super over. They'll get the runs.
That was probably the hottest week of cricket ever been involved with. We had 2 days in the low 40s.
J.R. Ron Hill was oppressive.
Okay, 2 balls here.
2 balls to go. 1 shot needed.
Dot ball. Oh,
and there it is. The winning runs are a bye. Ball nutmegs Andrew Harriet, and the game is over.
That's a
Done and dusted, ladies and gentlemen. That's
anticlimactic finish for the
game
bye,
done.
unfortunately.
Here we go here. Nutmegs him. Goes down. There's a gap between the knees. And the game is won by a bye. So, the Waratahs progress in an excellent 5-over game. Again, I know that you haven't seen too many of it. It's fascinating how it ebbs and flows. So the Waratahs defeat the Sea Dragons. The next game will start at 2 p.m. Dan Saunders and Aaron Gray will take you to that game. And that'll be a corker of a game. The Rosellas and the Tigers coming to you from 2 o'clock. Aaron, thank you so much for your company. I better head off to Sydney shortly. Thank you so much for having me.
Good on you, Dave. All the best with your campaign tomorrow down at the SCG.
Can't wait.
Blasters and Lake Macdo battle. First game
10
at
o'clock.
10 a.m. Okay.
So.